Hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back, friends. And anyone who accidentally clicked this episode while trying to Google, is Akon okay? You have arrived at Mostly Accurate, the show where the facts are real, but the delivery is usually hanging on by a thread. So, listen, today's episode is already doing the absolute most. We're starting with not one, but two news stories that made me double check if Mercury was like in the microwave or if the universe was just bored. First up, Akon. Yes, that Akon, Mr. Smack That, Mr. Locked Up. Apparently, he decided to remind us why the last song exists because your boy got arrested. I won't spoil the details, but let's just say it was very on brand. Then, because the ocean wanted to get our attention again this week, scientists have spotted the largest great white shark in the Atlantic, chilling off the coast of New Jersey. Yes, New Jersey again, because first we had Snooky the turtle, and now we have a shark. So, why are sharks pulling up to the boardwalk like they're looking for funnel cake and a henna tattoo? I really don't know. But I do know that if Jaws starts showing up at Spirit Halloween, I will simply pass away. And then, because the show believes in variety, we slip straight into a true crime spiral with the Winger case from the 2020 episode Bad Romance Web of Lies. This story has everything: betrayal, manipulation, red flags that were just like waving by setting themselves on fire, and a husband who thought he was smarter than literally anyone. Spoiler, he was not. So stick with me. This episode is a journey. All right, folks, move over, Snooky. There's a new legend roaming the Jersey Shore. And this one does not fist pump. Scientists just picked up a satellite ping from the largest male great white shark ever recorded in history in the Atlantic. And yes, he is casually cruising off the coast of New Jersey like he's looking for a slice of the boardwalk. His name? Contender, because apparently absolutely not was already taken. This guy is a 13.8 feet long, basically the length of no, your average Honda Pilot. And he weighs around 1,653 pounds, which is about, I don't know, what, 3 refrigerators, maybe 4 if you stop at Costco. So, researchers tagged him earlier this year down by the Florida Georgia line. Um, that's a band, isn't it? Since then, Contender has been treating the East Coast like his potential hot girl summer tour. First Florida, then the Carolinas, Massachusetts, Canada, now New Jersey. He's basically doing the reverse of like every retiree on the planet. Scientists are freaking out in a good way because male sharks this big are like, I guess they're super rare. Tracking him helps them understand like migration patterns, feeding habits, and probably confirms that yes, sharks also need a winter vacation. The latest sighting was off the coast of Atlantic City, which means that while you were losing $40 on penny slots, this dude was gliding by, kind of like, sup, this is my new house. So don't panic. Sharks aren't out there hunting humans. Contender has bigger things on his plate. Literally, he eats seals the way my toddler eats puffs, aggressively and without fear. So for now, Contender continues his journey, living his best life, pinging satellites and unintentionally terrorizing everyone who owns a paddleboard. Honestly, iconic behavior. For our next story, we're heading to Georgia, where singer Akon, yes, that Akon, the man who gave us Lonely, Smack That, Locked Up, somehow ended up living out the plot of a very chaotic AAA commercial. So, here's what happened. Back in September, police in Roswell find a dead Cybertruck on the side of the road, just sitting there, lifeless, no battery, no futuristic hum, like nothing, not even a courtesy beep. And who's behind the wheel? Akon. Living, breathing, chart topping Akon. Stranded like a dad whose phone died during getting GPS directions somewhere. While they're waiting for a tow, officers run the plates and discover the Cybertruck didn't show any insurance on file. Akon's driver's license had been suspended since 2023. And because why not add some extra spice, there was also an illegal vape chilling in the center console. This is the celebrity version of Sir, do you know why I pulled you over? Meanwhile, Akon's probably like, bro, the truck pulled me over. Fast forward to November, he misses a court date, a bench warrant gets issued, and the Chambly police track him down and arrest him. But don't worry, he was only in jail for like 6 hours. So, he was fine, which is like honestly, like technically makes this the remix to Locked Up, but like very low stakes. So the best part of this whole thing, Akon later shows proof of insurance, which means the entire thing happened because the Cybertruck basically betrayed him. His paperwork wasn't updated and he had a renegade vape. So this is a man who built schools, launched humanitarian projects, performed on every continent, but one Cybertruck with zero battery said, not today, Akon. Honestly, the whole situation is just a reminder that no matter how famous you get, the universe will always find a way to humble you, sometimes through karma and sometimes through a dead electric pickup truck. Okay, guys, we have made it to tea time, and we are just going to stick with our true crime genre that we've been kind of rolling with lately. I've been watching a lot of 2020. I don't know if this is a sign that I'm getting older or I don't know what's going on, but let me just paint a picture for you, okay? It's late summer, 1995, a quiet Illinois neighborhood. Lawns are mowed, sprinklers are doing that little like side to side thing. Neighbors are living their best. We leave our doors unlocked, lives, and inside one house, a story is unfolding so messy, so twisted, so lifetime after dark, you'll swear I'm making this entire thing up. A frantic 911 call, a wife clinging to life, a man shot dead on the floor, and a husband who claims he walked right into a home invasion straight out of a made-for-TV thriller. But of course, as always that we learn on this show, nothing is ever that simple, and some perfect husbands need to come with warning labels. Welcome back to Mostly Accurate, where the stories are real, the commentary is sassier than intended, and the men continue to disappoint in our true crime stories. Today, we are diving into 2020's bad romance, Web of Lies, the absolutely bananas story of Mark and Donnah Winger. Strap in, grip something, I don't know, hydrate. I am currently dehydrating with my third cup of coffee. I don't know. Because you guys, this one takes turns like a roller coaster built by somebody who failed geometry. So let's just start where every tragic 2020 story starts. The seemingly perfect couple, Donnah and Mark Winger, meet, fall in love, do the whole we're ready to start a family thing, except nature is like, LOL, no. So they end up adopting a baby girl because Donnah is having fertility issues. Tiny little Bailey. And they adopted her from a teen mom who was giving Bailey up for adoption. So kind of a win-win, Bailey gets a new home and Donnah is able to finally, have the baby that she always wanted. And let me tell you, Donnah is thriving. She's glowing. She's emotional. She's that mom who takes like 1,000 pictures of her sleeping baby, like that type. Now, remember this happy beginning because it's like the last chunk of peace anyone in this story is going to ever experience. So, Act 2. Let's fast forward a little bit. Donnah takes a trip to Florida with baby Bailey. Her parents get her a driver, and this driver's name is Roger Harrington. He is hired to pick her up and drive her 2 hours to her destination. Sounds normal. Cute. Family vacation vibes, right? Wrong. Because Roger decides to immediately ruin the whole vibe. During this drive, this man starts telling Donnah that he hears voices in his head. Okay. A voice named Dom. Dom. Okay. So Dom apparently is telling him to hurt people. And then, like, weird enough, he just like starts flirting with Donna. Like imagine you're trapped in a moving vehicle with your newborn, and then someone is like, hey, so the voices in my head are telling me to be violent. Anyway, you married? You single? What's your status? Like, what's up? You know? I don't know. I would have pulled on like a full action movie like scene and somehow rolled out of that car. I don't know how I would have done that with my baby, but I don't know. That's a very tough situation to be in because then you gotta save the baby too. I don't know. Super scary, right? So Donna is terrified. Okay. Like as she should be. She gets home and she tells her friends, her family, and of course, her husband, Mark. Now, Mark in this moment plays a very concerned husband. He tells her, write everything down about that ride. You know what I mean? Like every creepy detail, which she does because she's scared. And honestly, who would not be scared? So they report the incident to like the limousine company and Roger gets suspended. That's kind of like the end of it, sort of. But not really. So Act 3, the 911 call. Let's fast forward a week and a half later, August 29th, 1995. Police get a frantic call, and it's Mark. He's yelling for officers to come quickly because a man broke in, attacked Donna, and he shot the guy. Police arrive to just pure chaos. Donna is barely clinging to life at this point. Roger, yes, that Roger from the car ride, has been shot in the head, not once, but twice, and somehow is still like moaning and making sounds in the background, which you can clearly hear on this police call. Mark is pacing, acting confused, asking, who is this man? Like he didn't like literally hear about him just last week, but whatever. Police don't really like know that yet at this point. So Mark tells police he was downstairs on the treadmill because men in these cases are always bizarrely committed to their cardio when he heard a thud. He runs upstairs, sees the baby is left alone on the bed. So this is like one thing that Donna would never do. So he grabs his gun, he turns the corner, he's walking down the hallway, and bam, supposedly he finds a stranger hitting Donna with a hammer. So he shoots Roger as Roger is like raising his hammer for another swing. And this is like all allegedly Mark's story, mind you. And, that's the end of it. And here's the Academy Award moment. Mark asks police, is this guy's name Roger? And then immediately points them to the note, which happened to conveniently just be like also just magnet, I can't say that word, um, on the refrigerator. And yeah, immediately points them to the note that Donna wrote about the creepy drive. Sir, I looked directly into the camera when I heard this part. Within 48 hours, the case is closed as self-defense. Mark becomes the grieving hero husband, Roger becomes the creepy intruder villain, and Donna, the real victim, becomes another tragic headline. Now we enter Act 4. After Donna's death, her mother and her sister moved to Illinois to help care for Bailey. Mark withdraws and becomes super distant, which, okay, grief looks different for everybody. But he hires a nanny and he was actually like encouraged to hire this nanny. So, like don't like make him seem like he was like incapable, but he did need help. Okay. So he hires this nanny, Rebecca, and Rebecca moves in. And suddenly Mark and the nanny are doing the whole like the playing house routine. Okay. And then one day Mark calls Donna's mother with the most insensitive announcement of all time. You want to know what he says? He goes, great news. Rebecca's pregnant. Good news. This man's audacity could power a small city. Rebecca is being pressured into marriage at this point, and before long, they tie the knot just 16 months after Donna's murder. They move to the country. They end up having like 3 more children of their own. Meanwhile, Donna's family feels like they've been erased, which completely understandable. And at this point, Donna's mother just wants to give baby Bailey, a piece of her original family, I guess you would say, like a piece of her mother. She wants to give baby Bailey a necklace to remember her mother. And Mark gets like super upset about this. A totally normal, not at all suspicious reaction, right? Why would you get upset about this? But I don't know. That's what Mark does because Mark's the worst. Act 5. We're going to fast forward again a little bit. So now this is where Karma clocked in for her shift. March 1998. Mark goes to the ER because he just like isn't feeling well. And, Rebecca follows to check on him. And guess who she bumps into? A woman named Deanne Schultz, an old friend of Mark and Donna's. So Deanne sees Mark and is like, oh, hell no, not today, and spills everything to the police. So it turns out that she was having an affair with Mark before Donna's murder. And not only that, she says Mark told her that he needed to get that Roger guy into the house. And suddenly everything makes sense. Almost too much sense at this point. So the crime scene is basically re-examined. The timeline completely falls apart and evidence starts screaming like this was staged. Mark didn't just kill his wife, he lured Roger into the home to be like basically used as like the perfect scapegoat at this point. So it takes 6 years because investigations apparently like move at dial-up internet speed, but Mark is finally arrested and charged with the murders of both Donna and Roger. Rebecca stands by him for a long time, but Roger's family is basically like fighting to clear his name that like, yeah, maybe had some demons inside. But Roger Harrington wasn't a villain and he was being manipulated. And yes, for the record, Mark's 911 call is still one of the most like Oscar worthy performances that we've ever heard. But man, it really makes you take a step back and think about how true crime has evolved throughout the years, I guess. So justice is served and that's great. Eventually Donna's family creates a foundation in her memory to help other victims because her story serves to be more than just like a gruesome crime scene. And Bailey grows up knowing the truth of both sides of this tragedy. And Mark? Yes, Mark is exactly where he always was meant to be, behind bars, forever. All right, welcome to our mom moment. I feel like we just really cruised through today, which good for us. Good for us this time, right? Because like normally I go off on rants, but I feel like I'm sticking to schedule today because everything else in my household is not sticking to schedule, but that's totally fine. Bubs got like the latest start to his nap today. So I don't know. We'll see how it does. I don't know why, because it's like a really beautiful, gloomy fall day and it's like perfect nap time weather, but yeah, it is what it is. So before we wrap up today's chaos-filled episode about men making horrible choices, let me tell you about someone in my house who is also making questionable choices. My child. Okay, listen, I love this kid more than anything on earth, but like, I don't know. I swear he is just like physically allergic to like spatial awareness, like every single week, a new bruise, a new bump, a new like crying because it is like, mommy, I fell into the thing that was like literally been in the same spot since like 2019 and I bumped my head. I don't know. Should I get a house helmet? I think I should get a house helmet. And before you ask, yes, he finally bounced back this week and made a complete 180. So like last week, he was basically a grumpy, congested little potato. And this week, the boy woke up like he's been resurrected by Disney magic or something. He's also suddenly finishing the end of songs, like full on performing songs. And I just like, I can't like, it's like the cutest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. So he loves like the Wheels on the Bus song. So if Miss Rachel's like in the background, he'll like hum along like he's singing it. But I was giving him a bath this week. Um, oh, in the bath this week. Okay, let me stay on my first story here. So cutest thing I've ever heard in all my days. We were singing the ABCs in the bathtub, and the end of the song comes up, and it's like, next time, won't you sing with? And I pointed, and he went, me. And oh my God, I about died. I like screamed, and then I was like, Jameson, he's a genius. He knows the words. And then Jameson heard him, and everybody was just like, oh my gosh, Hercules, Hercules. And yeah, I almost cried. It was just like, oh my God, the talent, the range, the crescendo into, the final word of the song. Like, give him a Grammy. He deserves it. I know I'm being a little overly dramatic, but I love him so much. So, but like, you guys just don't worry. He's still very much himself, because this week we had another poop in the bathtub. Yes, another turd in the tub. At this point, I'm just convinced that he thinks it's a part of the bath time routine. I don't know, once a month, once every few weeks, like shampoo, conditioner, bathtub bubbles, surprise turd. Um, I don't know. And to balance it out, he also like nearly baptized my computer mouse in the toilet, just like casually walked over and was like, mic drop, this belongs here. Like, sir, please stop. I snagged it like seconds away from falling in the toilet, just like, all of his Fisher Price little people. Or my hairbrush. Yeah, that went in the toilet too. And then the hairbrush also has been missing for about 6 days. So I went to the store, Meijer, and I bought a new one, a new comb, because I need a comb for my wigs, which, by the way, if you're watching the video version, this is a new one. I don't know how I feel about it, guys. I don't know. What do you think? I think it's cute. Whatever. It's a little bit longer. I like it. I like the feel of it. I like the thickness of it. Off on a tangent again. But yes, the highlight of the week. He got a brand new like vacuum cleaner toy. He loves the vacuum cleaner. He likes the sound. He likes the look of it. He likes to push it over. So my boss actually had this like little hand-me-down Fisher Price vacuum cleaner that just like makes vacuum cleaner sounds. And oh my God, this child has not stopped vacuuming. He is obsessed. That's his new personality now. He just likes to vacuum. So he went from a tiny reckless tornado to a tiny reckless tornado with a cleaning agenda. And honestly, I respect it. All right, y'all. That's the show for today. We covered Akon getting himself arrested, a giant great white shark hanging out in New Jersey, like is trying to join the cast of Real Housewives, a true crime disaster starring Mark Winger, the man who thought he was smarter than literally everyone, and of course, my toddler's weekly audition of Jackass Jr. So if you enjoyed the chaos, the crime, and the bathroom confessions, please make sure to follow me on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all the places. You know where to find me. Hit follow, hit subscribe, leave a review, send some love, send some snacks, whatever your heart feels like it's called to do. And I just like Spotify. Again, I'm just going to shout out to Spotify. This is my casting platform. So I upload my audio to Spotify, and that's how it gets to all your podcast listening platforms. Please follow me on Spotify. Yeah, it's my home base. Spotify and YouTube, please utilize that, especially with the comment section. I love the interaction. I get a lot of like direct message feedback, but like I would like to get a conversation started on that platform. So if you have Spotify, please follow on Spotify, and that'll help me level up so I can get you higher quality content, and we'll have a good time all around. That's it, you guys. This has been Mostly Accurate, where the stories are wild, the commentary is unhinged, and my toddler is still confusing the bathtub with the toilet. I will see you guys next week. Okay, love you. Bye-bye. This podcast is for entertainment purposes only. The facts are fuzzy. Our stories and opinions are just that, stories and opinions, not meant to be taken as professional advice.